Akpabo and his wife Ozika sat on sofa in the living room of his newly constructed house. Akpabo was flipping through a newspaper, looking tense. Ozika was sighing, wringing her hands, and trying to attract her husband's attention. And when she did, she lashed out.
Akpabo, I know how much we both want a child, and for 5 years there have been none. It's unbearable. Is there nothing we can do?
Ozika, my wife, I've told you before, it's God's timing, not ours. No amount of desperation will change that. Please be patient.
Ozika, weary of hearing that same response each time the issue was discussed, got up and left the living room. Some days later, Ozika served his favorite dish to Akpabo after he returned from work. And as they sat on the dinner table, Ozika announced to her husband,
My love, I learnt from a nurse that there's someone who could help to solve my problem of barrenness.
You're talking about a witch doctor, aren't you, Ozika? That's forbidden. Those paths lead to darkness. We must have faith in God.
Akpabo suddenly stirred. Ozika looked down, her face set with determination.
Faith can't fill this emptiness, Akpabo. You don't care or understand how I feel.
I will not have it, Ozika. If you dare go against my decision on this, you will regret it.
Ozika snapped back. Akpabo stood up angrily. Ozika was visited by Ikedi, her childhood friend, who was married with 3 children. As Ikedi narrated her near-fatal auto accident on her way to drop her eldest son at school, Ozika's countenance dropped with emotions, and her warmth reception to her friend changed. Ikedi promptly noticed it and changed the topic. And to show understanding of what her friend was going through in her marriage, she encouraged her thus.
My friend, all hopes are not lost. Just a single knock on the right door can bring succor. And I can take you to knock on the right door.
Both friends agreed on a date to visit the right door. The problem then for Ozika was to find an alibi to get her husband's permission to leave home at the time agreed on with Ikedi. She came up with her mother's illness and why her attention was needed at the hospital. Acknowledging that her husband's distaste for the hospital environment would nullify his willingness to accompany her to visit his sick mother-in-law. Ikedi led Ozika to the shrine room of Aziza, the witch doctor, in the dim evening light, and Ozika constantly looking over her shoulder to ensure no one has followed her. They were asked to come back the next day. Aziza was engaged in communing with the gods on that day. The next day, Ozika went alone and knocked on the door 3 times as Okrik shrine instructed. Ozika stepped inside and met Aziza, an elderly woman draped in white garment with weird necklace of strange charms, sitting cross-legged in front of some dreadful molded images.
Come in, knocker. Okrik is here to solve your problems. Woman, you have come to me because you are desperate to have a child. I can see it written all over you. You are in the right place, and Okrik will help you, and it will cost you, but not something you cannot afford.
I'm willing to pay anything. Just help me have a child.
First, you must bring the child to me, exactly 14 days after his or her birth for a ritual. And secondly, the child must never marry a wife if a male or a husband if female. He or she would be bound to serve a greater power, a spouse of the god or the goddess.
I agree,
echoed Aziza, the witch doctor. Ozika nervously replied. Ozika paused, then whispered. Aziza, her eyes narrowing, explained that there were 2 conditions, the prices to pay. Aziza firmly made Ozika swear an oath to uphold the agreed conditions. Aziza then gave her a bottle of concussion and instructed her on how to drink from it. Somehow, Akpabo discovered the prank about his mother-in-law's hospital admission and confronted his wife for the truth about her whereabouts on that evening. The contentious issue lingered on for months, and when Ozika announced that she was pregnant, her husband summed it up that she had sought the services of a witch doctor. He vehemently reacted.
Do you take me for a fool? You went behind my back to seek the services of a witch doctor, and now you claim this child is mine. Ozika, what else has the witch doctor given you to bring to my house?
Akpabo swiftly went into the room of Ozika on a search mission and found the empty bottle of the concussion Aziza gave her to drink. He also fished out a native white chalk, which symbolized the goddess of the sea. And that was it. Akpabo locked Ozika's room and chased her out with her pregnancy, screaming,
I will not have none of it. You're on your own, Ozika. Don't bring this curse back to my doorstep.
Ozika went to squat with her mother in Obamo village until she gave birth to a son and named him Imaduzomo, meaning, I am not guilty of seeking for a child, during the seventh-day naming ceremony. An emissary of 3 women were sent by the elders of Obamo village to announce the birth of Imaduzomo to his father, Akpabo, in the city. He dismissed them, saying,
I cannot father a child given by a witch doctor.
On the 14th day of Imaduzomo's birth, Ozika took him to Aziza, the witch doctor, who led mother and newly born son to River Logbo. And there, Aziza initiated innocent baby Imaduzomo in an unholy marriage to a mermaid spirit, whispering ritualistic incantations, and some ornaments with live chicken were thrown in the river. An effigy, representing the mermaid wife of Imaduzomo, was given to Ozika to install in any dwelling place of her son. Ozika had to stay with her mother in the village, while efforts were made to reconcile her marriage to Akpabo. She engaged in farming with her mother throughout that period. And something significant happened when Imaduzomo was 9 months. He was found playing with a snake in the farmland. A soothsayer in Obamo village interpreted the incident as a visit by Imaduzomo's spirit wife. 1 year later, Ozika, who had exhausted efforts to reconcile with Akpabo and take Imaduzomo back to his father, dropped Imaduzomo off with her elderly mother, saying,
Mama, I must leave and go to the city to find a job. I will surely come back to take him. We need to find a stable means of livelihood, accommodation, and a conducive future for him. Please, Mother, look after him while I am away.
Imaduzomo was 3 years old when his mother took him to the city. He grew up with her mother in the city, where his mother worked as a cashier in a departmental store. He was handsome, muscular, athletic, and very brilliant at school.